Attention business owners, this is your captain speaking. Fasten your seatbelts as we prepare your business to take off. Hi, I'm Joe, your captain of online reviews. Give me a thumbs up if your reputation is important to your business success. Excellent, thank you, and welcome on board. Today, online reviews tell your prospects about the quality of services that you provide. As a matter of fact, online reviews are the new word of mouth advertising. So if you don't have a flight plan in place to get 5-star reviews, your reputation could be hijacked by one bad review, crashing your business. So what we do is we put you in the cockpit with our automation called Give Me a Thumbs Up. Our technology can actually predict whether your clients will write a good review or a bad review before we even ask them. So if you'd like to learn more about this technology, book your flight with Captain Joe today so that tomorrow you can sit back, relax, and watch your 5-star business take off.
Born into a real fight wasn't right. Where can she dream here?
Hey everybody, how's it going? Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward. I'm here today with my father, Jerry Clayton. So that's pretty cool. And it is time for honoring our heroes, both country and community. We are waiting for a couple of our heroes to pop on. Hopefully they'll be popping on here very soon. But I do want to introduce Publio and his little buddy. Look at that. How you doing, brother?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Kizzy.
Yeah. Little terror. Little
Yeah.
terror, he looks like. So, hey, brother, man, if you want to get in and get all set up, you can pop back on if that works best for you.
No, I'm good. I just moved into a new place, so I've got nothing set up. So
Yeah, that always sounds fun. So
yeah,
yeah, we're hoping that we get joined by two really good friends of ours, Diamond Drip, who, like you, Publio, she is a Air Force veteran.
Nice.
And I'm hoping that she pops on here. And then Daniel Belew, who runs an organization where they take ambulances and turn them into tiny homes.
What?
For homeless vets. Yeah, it's called Resident Rescue is what it's called, and it's a really neat thing. He's in the desert part of California, but it's a really cool concept, and we've had him on one of our shows before, the One Hope Wine show before. Wonderful guy, and I'm hoping that he comes on. He, however, is currently serving, so you know the way that military schedules go, that if he's still needed, he's still working. So but so how has your week been, my friend?
Busy. I'm working again, doing operations management for a company out in Georgia. So I'm they're getting their money's worth. I'm busting my rear end.
Well, that's good and bad at the same time. Why don't you go on ahead and give us a little introduction on Zafeiri and tell us what you got going on?
Zafeiri is basically we're kind of like we're a consulting group, but what we do is we help businesses that are struggling with cash flow or a lot of issues that affect businesses. Right now the economy's not good, unfortunately, and we got to pull together as a nation, kind of like a team, and we're here to help businesses get back on track and how to deal with this kind of economy. We teach things like efficiency and leadership and financial acumen and a lot of good things. Our group is very diverse. We've got a lot of good, intelligent people working with us now, and we're just out there trying to help.
Well, that sounds great. I know that one of the things that I absolutely love about what you're trying to do is you're not going to be a yes person.
No.
They're not going to come to you, and it's not going to be, this is what you're doing. Well, maybe you're going to go, look, this is what's going on. This is the way it is. I find that to be a little, being direct sometimes is a better way of doing things, and especially in business. If you give somebody that comfort level on, he didn't seem like I was screwing up too bad. It seems to kind of not be perfect, right? So I do like that. Let's go on ahead, and what we'll do, we'll go on ahead and we'll bring in Dad on this one, and I think the first thing that we ought to do is and it's definitely not anything pretty. Hey guys, I just got a message from Daniel. He's he got caught up in a deadline. We called it, right? So and we are lucky because we get to see his chair right now. Ah, there he is. There he is. How you doing, brother?
It's been a day.
Yeah. Well, we can understand. Daniel, welcome to the show. I was telling these gentlemen about your wonderful program. And you and I have become friends over the last couple months. I love what you do. Can you go on ahead and in your own mind or in your own words explain exactly what is rescue residents and fill them in?
Yeah. I'm gonna fix a lighting thing here real quick. I think that's too much.
I love that. Yeah. Oh, you got that same thing I do. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, there. It's a little better. Okay, so Rescue Residents is a nonprofit that I started in 2021. It's just getting started, so we're still building everything out, right? So it's not up and running. It's a concept. I think, Zach, did we talk ever about the funding for the big project stuff and like the big site and everything at all, or no?
Actually, I don't think that. Yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit, but I don't think that we got a lot of conversation on it.
Okay, so
Conversation on it.
We're reaching the final stages, so we're at a point where I can talk about the concept. I can't specifically cite certain names and things, but I'm definitely okay with talking about it. I haven't posted anything to the website. I haven't adjusted any of our documentation yet because we're waiting till it's fully finalized. But we basically, I put together a proposal about 6 months ago to kind of actually visualize the end goal idea of a single site that I could have, like the biggest I could possibly dream out. And so I kind of based it on 80 acres worth of property that was available. And then what I came to was 110 permanent housing units on site, 100 of those dedicated to veterans experiencing homelessness that are going to be going through our programs. 10 of those are going to be dedicated as affordable housing for our staff, right? So as we grow out this large site, I know we're going to have regular wage work staff and I want to make sure that there's affordable housing, knowing that that's not a thing that exists in Southern California. So we're building that into our program. So 110 permanent structured houses that are prefabricated, are factory built homes, and then 50 of the RV parking spots, and then a community center to kind of manage that. So you have basically all of the stuff that they're going to need between a small store and the place where, like, think of an RV park's entrance space where you check in and they tell you what site you're going to. So that would be there, and you'd be able to rent out like campground stuff, whatever you would think of you might have for a campground. So we would also then have an American Legion-led veteran training center. So we're actually going to have a training center on this campus, an event center, so we can host our fundraising events at that location, and then our ambulance conversion workshop, which I guess gets us to, let's talk a little bit about what the kind of niche thing that we do is. So throughout our entire process, it's a 3-phase program. Doing outreach, community outreach, identifying veterans experiencing homelessness that are interested in our programs, bringing them to the site. They live on site. They go through phase 1. Phase 1 is identifying about themselves and like really focusing on themselves, what they need to be working on. So you get everything from mental health support to drug abuse counseling or alcoholism counseling or whatever the stuff is you need to transition yourself from living on the streets to being back on your feet and feeling like a functional person again. And then phase 2 is really focused on job skills training. So you look at the profession that you want to get into after going through the programs. And then we partner you with local organizations or with training programs to be able to actually either get certified or have enough experience and a recommendation letter from one of these organizations so that you can potentially move forward into an actual career in that field. So then the final phase 3, they've been living on site in the home. And then eventually when they're going through phase 2, we start transitioning into a prefabricated, like one that we build out as a team, an ambulance that's on site. So they experience a couple of different layouts. while going through phase 2, when going through their training phase. So now they know what they like and don't like about the ambulances that they've stayed in, and they design and then build with our team one that's a custom one that they want, that is theirs to then move forward into that new phase in life. So they can now drive to that new job in that new state, in that new location. Research shows that the number one factor in being able to change something significant in your life is a change of environment first. So if you can change the things occurring around you, you're much more likely to be successful at changing the thing that's your real target. So that's an inherent part of our program. We do our outreach in the city, bring them out to the ranch. They go through their programs there, and then they still need to move on to a new start in a new location, really getting themselves a clean slate, and getting a fresh start. So that's the kind of the core concept. And then this new location. So we've got that ambulance workshop. We've got the event center. We've got the community center, and we've got the training center, and then 50 RV parking spots and 110 housing units. So that entire project, as I proposed it to this funding source that came to me, was $53 million, Zach. It got funded. So we are moving forward with this project. Yeah,
congratulations, brother.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a big deal. We're in basically the last probably 2 to 3 weeks of this process. It comes out as like a bond, so it's going through the process in the state of California between the legal firm that managed the bond and then the actual California Municipal Finance Authority to review it, make sure that it meets all the criteria, gets a bond grade, and then can be funded out. So we've actually already put in a bid on properties. We turned in a letter of intent for a property that's actually 160 acres. I originally planned it on 80, but this 160 acre property is available. It actually has a home on it, so that'll become our home. It'll be the executive director's home for now, and then eventually be probably just the SoCal Desert Ranch site manager when we expand beyond a single site. So they'll live there in that house on the property and be able to kind of manage all the programs going on for the specific ranch property. So that's where we're at right now. It's a little bit of a leap forward than I expected.
Brother, man, that is first off, congratulations, dude. That is so amazing. I got chills, knowing how much you put into this. Okay, guys, I got a story to tell you. He was working on one of these, and one of his projects got broken into, and all of his tools got stolen. And he was working hard on one of these, and these are not one of your designs here, but this can kind of show you right here what one of these ambulances can be turned into. Is that not amazing?
That's incredible.
I mean, it's a beautiful concept.
There's several really beautiful builds out there. Our YouTube channel has a playlist called Example Builds, and I just kind of, as I gather these examples of things that I think are cool within this space, I just add that to our playlist. So that way anybody interested in kind of learning a little bit more about ambulance builds specifically can go look at those. And we're actually hosting an event down here in Southern California, December 8th through the 10th. Ticket sales for the public go open on November 1st. It's 3 days, December 8th through the 10th. Friday night's like a cool little laid back campground vibe. We'll have a couple bands out there. We're going to start a karaoke competition. We're going to do campground game brackets, basically like horseshoes, cornhole, ladder toss. So we build out brackets, you buy into it, and then win prizes at the end. So doing all that, and then Saturday is more event driven. I'm going to do the presentation kind of like we just covered over the entire project and our organization. And there's some who are coming who've done ambulance builds. The guy who wrote a book on doing ambulance build conversions. We're bringing out, I'm at 6 right now confirmed. My target is for 10 of these ambulance builds. So guys who have these builds are coming out and going to be camping out on site with us and basically have these available for people to tour and look at, and really get a firsthand experience walking into one of these builds and being able to see that kitchen, be like, oh, this is nice. So something I really want to point out about that specific layout. Notice there's that fan space in the ceiling right there to be able to move air through the space. So that is very strategically positioned. And that's the same kind of thing I'm going to be doing with our kitchen space, because while these are nice, if you're tall enough, not only is it pulling the air out from right above the stove where moisture and other things are coming into it, if you're tall enough, your head's going to hit this ceiling. But if you put that fan in that space right there, you now have that little bit of extra gap that you can stick your head in. So you're in with your head up to here, And while you're cooking, and you don't even notice really, you're able to stand upright and like have that comfortable space while you're standing and cooking and preparing. So that's definitely strategically something I'm looking at. This first one I have is a very short box. You can get them with much taller boxes. So this one's going to have that like strategically placed vent spaces. Otherwise you like standing there hunched while trying to cook.
And if your hair's getting too long, you get a haircut. Hey,
yeah,
you know, why not? So,
that's a
make
deep
sure to
way
tie
to
it up
get it.
before you start cooking. Yeah.
yeah. So, you know, what's amazing to me, Daniel, is that we're looking at it at something where it goes from this, they go from this to this. And then while they're in this, one of the things that you were just talking about, they get to start working on building their own with you guys. And I think that, you know, once again, this is it's so cool. And as Dad brought up just a second ago, they get to use these and they get to drive to work if for no other reasons. But you guys are hoping that, you know, there's, as you saw in the one below, you know, there's a place for their motorcycle, but there's bicycles. But I mean, it's not, look, this is giving, and I've said this before, I love the dog in this picture. I really do. But I mean, I think that this is just such a wonderful beacon of hope. I really do. I mean, it is so cool because, you know, it's everything that you need in it, right? I mean, so I would like to introduce Diamond Drip, who is a great friend of mine. Diamond is a huge part of everything that we're doing now. Diamond is also a business coach. She's very, very busy person. Diamond, this is our friend Daniel from Rescue Residents. They take and they build ambulances into tiny homes for homeless vets out in California. And then of course our host Publio and my father Jerry. So we've got a full show now. So, and Publio's on the go. Publio on the go. I like that. So maybe we've got a new name for the show. I don't know.
Yeah, I apologize. I've been working my butt off, so I'm kind of all over the place right now.
Yeah. Did you have any questions for Daniel before we move on?
No, I'm very impressed though. The scale of the project you're doing is phenomenal. And then being able to find the financing is just incredible. I'm just blown away. To be honest with you, it's great.
It definitely did not start that way, right? My initial plan was I was really just focused on the ambulance conversions. That was the core kind of unique piece. So I was mostly focused on like, I need a workshop, and then I need enough space around the workshop to park a couple of them for people to be staying in, right, while they're going through the program and doing whatever they need to do to build. So I was thinking maybe 6 people in the program in little parking spots kind of right outside of it, a little bathroom space, like a trailer, and then kind of a cooking area, probably like a grill out space, something covered, but just some place for us to be able to all kind of hang out and cook together. And that would be enough. And so even that's how this like started as a design idea, was a workshop space and like a couple of places to park some ambulances. And I proposed that originally to the county for funding, and we would have been able to fund that. Basically that's including staff and construction of probably 12 a year is what I was figuring. I can probably get through 1 in a month if it was full focused. And like you keep moving them through. And so I put it up as 2 years total funding, staff and everything, and materials, everything for $2 million, right? So 2 years and total build outs. So 24 ambulances plus the 6 parked on site, and get everybody through and all the way going, $2 million. And when this funding source came around for this project, he's like, that's too small. They're not accepting any projects under $10 million. So you need to think a little bit bigger. And so that's how it got to where it is, was like, well, what would it be if it was 10 years from now? Like, what would I think of if I went full dream, big scale, bigger than I have a staff to support or anything that I could possibly do right now. And so I proposed that big project, and they still liked it. They still funded it. And so it's moving forward. I still have to scramble to figure out how to support that large of a project, but it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I've been blown away.
Yeah. Got any thoughts?
I mean, just
getting the money for a project like that is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, and the just the fact that, you know, this is going to not only get veterans off the street, but once again, with your program, you're going to teach them skills like, you know, mechanics. You know, you're going to teach them skills like carpentry, things like this. That, you know, it's not just a one thing. Their skills here, and then they get to build their own. So I mean, that's even cooler, because like you said when you first came on, you know, this is something that they're not. Look, you take pride in what you do for someone else. You really take pride, and you really get to go and use your you know, like you just were explaining, hey, we're not doing anything under $10 million. Well, hell, let me come up with something grand then, you know. That's what they get to do, and it's so amazing. So,
that's it.
No,
I
go
assume
ahead.
that you probably were just thinking, you know, what you could do with your resources and what you would need just for help, and they wanted to turn it into big. So it's phenomenal. I mean,
yeah, this funding source. So one, it's spread out over 5 years, so I don't just get like, it's not all at once, which is smart. Like, it helps me manage the project a lot easier.
Yeah, I bet.
But like one of the kind of the big things to know is this is one, like in the listing of projects that are a part of this funding, we're like third from the bottom in being small at 53 million. So there are some really huge projects. So this is a total $7 billion bond. It is massive, right? So they're building hospitals and stadiums and all kinds of other stuff. But what's kind of, I think, the way the funding source and the way the other stuff's looking at it is, ours is getting skylined because of the lower price, but the major impact that they can talk about happening from it, right? So this becomes, ours has become, and the way that I'm hearing it, and the way that the both the law firm and the funding source and the bond authority are all saying is like, this is like the bumper sticker program in all of this list of stuff. So they expect to, once it's all finalized and done, and every step of what I'm doing, they're going to basically push media teams to us. Like, I basically won't have to run my own media team for a little while, because they are very interested in saying, like, this is the kind of impact we're having, while there's lots of these other projects that they're doing that are not as cool, like, to talk about, I guess, as the impact that it's having.
Yeah.
Building a stadium.
Well, I got a question. And I don't know if you can tell me this or not, and if you can't, don't. But is it a public venture, or is it a private venture?
So it is a private activity bond. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So that's definitely gonna make them look good, because helping the veterans, especially, people that are homeless is big. Right?
Well,
there were some other good projects in this too. So there's a community being built for elderly folks that have pets, right? And then so a lot of the like elderly support facilities don't allow for pets, and so then for those who have pets, there's no support system to take care of their pets, take care of them, and like included in her program is like a concept of, you already have another member somewhere in the neighborhood or in the community who is ready to take on your pet in the event of your death, because they're all knowing that they're preparing for that at some point. So like, they know that they want their pet taken care of, and they want it to probably be someone they're already doing walks with, and they're already familiar with the neighbor's pet, and they're already have these relationships with the other animals. So she's building that all into her system, and that one was a part of it too, and they got funded. So it's exciting. Some of the groups that are doing some good stuff, a lot are American Legion related, which excites me too, because I think we talked about it. I grew up in the American Legion, and some stuff that I really wanted to partner with and support, and that's part of how that kind of happened. But there's a lot of really good stuff in it.
And you're doing fantastic. I tell you what, that's an interesting concept too on that part. Just to sidetrack, I know, but I was in dog rescue for about 15 years. My ex-wife and I had our own 501c3, and we got a lot of dogs from older people who had passed away, and the family just gave them up. And luckily, the rescue was there to grab those ones, but a lot of them went to pounds.
And that's what she noticed, was that many cases, older folks, the family does not know that dog or care for that dog or want to be for it. So that there's not a plan in place to care for the animal. So she wanted to build something that provided a housing option that is affordable, within the realm of elderly, and have the elderly care and all the other stuff that the system would need normally in a housing program, but be focused on making sure to care for the animals afterwards.
Yeah,
cool.
and I
It's
mean,
just, like, it's good that other stuff's happening. Sorry, what's up?
yeah, it's huge. I mean, let's be honest here. There's not a lot of elderly without something, with some kind of pet. I mean, it's a kinship. It's a relationship. So, hey, Diamond, I know that you jumped in here late, but did you have any questions that you would like to ask Daniel?
I did. I was a bit tardy to the party, but thank you for the link. Yeah.
I love that phrase. I'm stealing that.
No problem. No, I didn't have any questions. The only thing that it was really surprising, because I've been in an all-day business training, and so it was really like we're learning tips on how to up-level our offers. And it was really interesting to come in from that environment to this environment, which is not necessarily about like that. And to hear the we only asked for 2 million, but they asked for the 10. Because that's one of the things that my mentor talks about. She says to know your worth, and if you can, multiply it by 2 or 3, and then put the value in that surpasses that. And from what I've been able to gather since being here, like, you're doing that, and I'm just like so grateful for what you're doing, the work you're doing. It's so important.
Yeah, like so it's brought up usually when I present this, like, people are like, wow, that's really lucky, right? And I'm like, so the way I phrase it, and I think it ties to what you were saying, is like, I don't believe in luck. Like, I don't think that that's just, like, inherently a thing on its own. I've heard it defined this way, and I totally believe in it, which is that luck is just when opportunity is presented to someone who is fully prepared, right? So luck favors the well prepared, is what, something like that. But yeah, the idea that I did already have all these concepts, right? I already had a lot of the idea. I already had enough of a foundation in the concept of what I was doing. And yes, I had like this dream and vision stuff 5 to 10 years from now of multiple sites and a bigger thing. But like, I knew I needed to start with something and prove the validity of the concept, right? So that was my first goal, was really like, build something small, build something that can prove the concept, and then grow. And I had several people early on, Zach being one of them, and then one of the mentors who I took to lunch today, to this professional luncheon I went to, tell me like, hey, I don't know how much I want to get directly tied in, because I am sure the moment you tell this to the right person, they're going to throw everything at it, and you're going to be fully funded, and this thing is going to blow up faster than you expected. And I was like, I really don't think so. I'm completely fine with building this like scaled, slow growth, like regular plan. And sure enough, yeah, I just presented it to enough of the right people that that preparation, was met with this opportunity, and here we go.
Heck yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I just like I said, I'm so happy that it's moving in this direction. From the moment we met, from the moment I learned I started learning about your program, we've been a huge support, and it actually kind of gives me a little bit of that joyous feeling, because about my plans for the stand-up centers. Very, very similar to what you're talking about. That's what I want to do. I want to do the stand-up centers, get it to where, we're giving just people stuff from the community and giving them a chance to take and build off. And hearing the success story is, it's success stories are never bad things to hear,
Yeah.
So, but congratulations. I can't say it enough, man. Congratulations.
Well, I bet you money that in like a week or a month, or maybe even 6 months, we're going to see you on like Fox News and CNN and all that stuff. And you're like, I know that guy.
So it's funny. Like, I'm
yeah,
doing
he
small
used
things.
to talk to me.
Oh, so that's part of it. Like, you shouldn't ever lose those connections, and it's not like that's ever going to change. But the funny thing was, like, I did just a regular community outreach thing that I've been doing. Like, I coordinate these active duty Marines to like go volunteer at activities in the California desert region area, right? And I do school cleanups. We do all kinds of stuff. someone from the National Charity League contacted me saying like, hey, there's a neighborhood after the hurricane that is still buried, right? They are still covered in mud, like up to the windows at these houses. And so can I coordinate, get some Marines out there with shovels and do some cleanup, right? So I ended up bringing them out there, and we ended up on the local news. And then someone contacted me a couple weeks later that they wanted to write an article. So they wrote this article, and I didn't know it until like basically right before the interview that he was writing it for a local newspaper, but that article was going to be syndicated nationally through like USA Today.
Wow.
So I have been hit up now a little bit more in the last few weeks of like, hey, I saw this article in the newspaper about your nonprofit. Can you tell me more about it? I was like, yeah, sure. And so the conversations are already starting to happen where, I'm hoping it does, because it'll help make the growth beyond this particular project and funding continue to happen. That's my goal, is that this is site one and that there are many more, right? So there's no reason that this doesn't exist outside of every major metropolitan area, providing that kind of pressure release valve for those who don't fit into the standard 9-to-5, don't fit into a 1-bedroom apartment lifestyle. They need that sense of adventure, that sense of ownership of your own path and future, and not tied down to a physical location as much. And this provides that, right? So you, like you said, you get that trade skill, and you have the mobility to say, you know what, I really don't like this company. I don't like the way that they do their management stuff. I don't like this boss or whatever. I'm going to find another construction company 2 towns over, get hired, and then put in your 2-week notice here, and just literally just drive your house over there.
Yeah. I know that you're still working on a few details on the event, but when and where are the people going to be able to go and find out more information about the event?
Yeah. So easiest answer is follow all our social media stuff. As soon as like I'm ready to post them, I'm already posting a couple of like teaser flyers. So I have some stuff on Instagram, mostly trying to bring in more of the ambulances. So I've kind of included the ambulance part of the photo and listed out the Instagram handles for those ambulances that have already mostly confirmed. So I'm trying to bring them in. But then the detailed scheduling stuff that I don't have pinned down, I've had to pull that off, because like I don't want to put a particular performer in and then them back out. So we are confirming the rest of the bands this week. And then I have a comedy group that's going to confirm hopefully next week. So I'm like, I don't want to publish out too much of it, but the idea is that, Friday is a very camp vibe, hangout vibe. And then Saturday is very much the event driven stuff. There'll be ambulance conversion folks. There'll be some folks from the VA coming and talking about veteran homelessness, and specifically HUD VASH vouchers and how that's going to play into what we're doing. It'll complement like a part of what I'll be talking about. But we'll have, raffles and performances and speeches and tours of these ambulances and stuff all throughout the day on Saturday. Food vendors on site. We have 3 food vendors that are going to be coming. A lot of other stuff. Basically, it's community event, but also very much think a music festival kind of feel to it. So we'll publish some details on social media stuff. Our website will get updated with a flyer on it, links direct to the site. Ticket sales open for public on the 1st though. So it's not far away. So we're going to open them up. If there are issues, then, we'll work to fix them using a website that supports events pretty well. If you remember the auction that I did, a lot of the auction items that didn't finish off, some of them are still back here. Those will be available for auction through this event as well. And then on Sunday, during the event live in the morning, we'll close out the auctions and then be able to hand off the items to the people who actually won them and were on site. Anybody not on site at the event will be able to have them mailed to them like we were doing online before. So, a lot for the event.
Do me a favor and let's schedule some time to come back on before the event. Once you got everything, let's have you come back on and talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds great. I know.
And then definitely share the information with us, and we can put it on our community calendar as well.
Yeah, I will. Doing an actual media article, for the newspapers and stuff in the middle of November. And so once I have to have everything done kind of by then. So right around then, I'd finish everything up and hit it out to you. So
nice.
Sounds perfect, brother. Sounds perfect. So, Diamond, let's learn a little bit about you. You are an Air Force veteran.
Woohoo!
You and Publio. So
I'm Air Force as well.
Yeah. I did read the DM when I got the link.
Okay, so I did do it right. I just didn't do it right.
I mean, a text would have been cool.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I am an open book. I honestly, because I came late, I wasn't expecting to say many words. I was really appreciative to learn about rescue and residence so I can help spread the word, because that's just one of the things that I like to do. Like, our voice is one of our most and this is what I talk about with my clients. Our voice is our most powerful asset, especially when it comes to growing our business. And yeah, AI can like help and stuff. It can make us, give us a starting point, but it's not us. Us, when we show through, when I see your passion, even just looking through the website and looking at the photos of the leadership, like, it's not like, the corporate, like, it's like people with their families. And so
I appreciate that you noticed that, because that is very intentional. Like,
yeah.
I when I talk to new potential board members or whatever, that is one of the things. I'm like, I need your biography so I can talk to the board about it, and I need just a photo you already have of you all, like, everyday life, and I want it to include a family member or a dog or something. Like, it needs to just be you. As it should be a nice photo. Like, it needs to look clean and look good on there, but like, I need it to be you in real life, not a headshot for like you're trying to be an actor or something. So.
Yeah.
The old glamour shots.
Don't have the big hair for that anymore. So I mean, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't either. So I've been noticing that a lot more lately. So, but I'm starting to have his hairstyle, which is scary.
Hey, he's pretty hip.
Yeah.
Jerry's a man.
Everybody shines like I do.
Yeah. What was the old thing that you had? God only gave a few of us perfect heads. The rest he gave hair. So,
I like that. I remember that.
So, but yeah, Diamond, you are a coach, and you have a very unique way of coaching. You're not the same plain Jane kind of, hey, rah coach. You actually really want to hear from everyone else, and you want them to be very to participate with what you do.
Yeah. I had first started off, I do a lot of online events that are open to the public, because I feel like that's it's the best way for them. What do you do? Sure, I could talk for like my 30-second whatever, but like, come to a workshop, check it out, see how I operate. And so in those settings, like, I've started to stop calling them like master classes or even like webinars, because there's automatically this kind of thing that happens where like you think that you can like pop in and not turn your camera on and just observe the information and not engage with it. And I'm like, nah. Like, my last one, it was a 2-hour interactive workshop, and I had to do a really good job of letting people know, like, hey, one, it's 2 hours. It's not just like your 30-minute whatever, but also like, we're gonna do some stuff. I'm gonna put you in breakouts with people, like, so you can work on some stuff. So don't be that guy who's like, over there not saying much, being all standoffish. Like, if you came here to work, come here to work. And I love that you've been able to experience like some of the masterclass, like the masterminds. And even with that, I'm trying to figure out how to put my own spin on that. I tried business strategy jam sessions, but I received feedback that people who don't know me might not know what that means.
I'm actually I'm gonna disagree with that, Diamond. I was invited and I attended a fish networking event.
Oh.
It is a networking event around the concept of the band Fish.
Huh.
People may not know who you are yet, but you've got to be different. You've got to do things different. If not, it's kind of, and I think, Daniel, you'll agree with this. Every time you mention the word, and I had to drop it from the name of my company, because every time you mention the word fundraising, people are like, oh shit, the guy wants money. It happens every time. And it's like, no. That's not what our business is. Okay. You don't understand. We don't want your money. We're going to work with businesses to earn that money. And so we dropped that one thing. But I mean, I'm going to say, if you're comfortable with it, do it, because look, these guys are having really good success with it. I went to one of their events, and I'm going to tell you something. Never listened to a Fish song in my life. I never have listened to a Fish. They did tell me that there's a concert near me soon, and I'm like, yeah, okay, no, I'm sorry, I broken wing. I can't do a whole lot right now. So, but so hey guys, Publio's got to drop off.
Yeah, I've got to run.
Yeah, but and we did get started. We're just, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to stick around for a couple more minutes and just ask you guys a few more questions. But Publio, thank you very much, my friend, and we'll talk to you next month.
Yes, sir. Y'all be good.
Yep.
All right.
Bye-bye.
So, but yeah, Diamond, what, I mentioned this the other day on Footprints Forward, but you do things like yoga.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not doing the yoga part. So that joke played its course. We don't need to do this again. You don't have to look at Zach doing yoga.
Is that how you ended up with your injury, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I ended up with my injury just trying to get out of bed, truthfully. No. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to do things that I know I would enjoy, or if I'm not going to enjoy them, I know that they're good for me and that my future me will enjoy that I did them. And yoga is one of those things. Like, I'm really good at working out because I don't want a stomach. I want my butt to be a certain way. I want my arms to not have that auntie flap. But when it comes to like stretching and like recovery, so because I know it's something I know I'm going to do, I'm like, well, if I host an event around it, especially with me and the events that I host, like if it's on the calendar, like the chances of me canceling it after I've promoted it are like so much less likely. So that's kind of how it got the name, accountability yoga. Like, we don't necessarily want to do it all the time, but hey, it's going to help you be able to move when you're 85. So let's put the work in now so we can be better for it later, if that's what they say.
And the accountability thing, again, Daniel, I'm going to bring it back to you. I mean, if you would have just said, this is what we're doing. We're not ever going to change anything. We're not going to, this is what I've got stuck in my mind. I'll guarantee you wouldn't be getting a grant like you're getting, because you've got to hold to, you got to continue to do things and you got to work for it. Right.
Yeah. And I'd say that there's a balance there though, too. So like we look at grants, and I've been talking through, so I have a couple interns, which are transitioning service members, retiring, working through their transition training stuff. And what I've been providing for them is like having other executive directors or grant writers present them with concepts, and like, so that they understand what these ideas for how nonprofits work and some of the work that I'm asking them to do. They've gotten presentations from others about, what that stuff is, rather than it just coming from me. And in some of those, we talk about, you can kind of look at a grant, and as long as it's sort of close, you could start figuring out how you could like massage the words to say, okay, we're doing this thing, but it sounds a lot like what you're asking for. But then there's looking at a grant, you're like, that money would be good, but I don't do that at all. And so do I now need to continue to extend and be more than what our mission is just to get the grant? And if it doesn't fit your actual goals or your mission, then you got to figure out where that line is. And sometimes, that's hard, because someone might be pushing like, hey, we can get this money if we, add this extra program. It's like, yeah, but I'm going to end up spending that money on that program and not helping any of the rest of the stuff we're doing, and adding more management, adding more project, and like adding more stuff that we have to do that doesn't actually help our primary goal. So you have to, like, I just have to be careful. I think I'm at the point where I think I've got all the pieces, but if that other piece, like you said, showed up and I was like, oh man, I didn't think of that. That does actually help us meet our goal of helping these veterans get back on their feet and get started in this new life. Then absolutely I should add that and do that grant. But like, I brought up the idea of a grant that was children's art programs. Like I could go do a grant for that, but like, how much am I building a program out? How much am I like really focusing our time and energy and effort into that? Or is it like, I have 10 houses that are family houses. Some of them might have kids. We should probably have some things for those kids to do. Like, it's still a bit of a stretch to full on say I'm funding a full program for it, but maybe as long as we scope the grant correctly, it's just a matter of like balancing some of those things. Don't go too far. Don't take on all of the everythings because everybody will ask you to, but definitely be ready to like not think you're painted into a corner. Like these are the things that I do and that's it, because you'll miss some of those opportunities to see things a little differently and potentially make a bigger impact than you originally intended.
Well, and I just want to make mention to something that you said. One of my really, really good friends and one of our mission partners, Brian Gibson with Project Die Hard, he was given the offer of, what, we'll give you some money, but you've got to take God out of your wording. He basically looked at him and said the polite Christian way of F you. That's not going to happen, That's something you really got to do. You definitely need to know your corporate. You can't give up yourself for money.
I love that this is a conversation right now. It's like a theme that I've been noticing. Just with business owners, like knowing yourself, I know that it's intimidating when people say like, be your authentic brand. Like, what does that even mean, really? Authentic brand. But when you really like take the business part out of it, like who are you at your core? What are your values? And your people ideally should have a values alignment. And so I just love that this is a conversation. And I'm like wondering really quickly, Daniel, because like everything that you just said described like what I do in terms of like making sure people are focused. And like, did you work with I missed that part of the story, if I'm sorry, but like with the program, was there like a mentor? Like, how did that work?
A little bit. So all I did was I went with a SCORE mentor, if you know score.org, in the beginning, like towards the end of 2021. Basically, once I had the core idea together and wanted to decide how much further I went with this, because it is a little crazy. I presented it to, I was like, hey, I need a mentor that handles nonprofits. And they assigned me to someone who was like a grant writing professional for the state of California, where she was actually on basically the California approval boards for like 20 something years and retired from that. Right. So she'd seen all of the grants that have ever been submitted to the state of California. So she knew like which ones get approved, which ones don't.
Yeah.
And it was just enough to say like, yeah, that idea is just crazy enough to really catch people's attention and make people want to fund it. But still has the core concepts that you need to have in place to make it make sense. But beyond that, I read a lot and I listen to a lot of podcasts. And I mean, I've been in the Marine Corps for 23 years. So a lot of that is just good foundational leadership stuff. My master's degree is in organizational change management and organizational leadership. So it's like, I trained a lot in it prior to getting ready for retirement. I'm still active duty, but I retire like this coming summer. And so I think I kind of have been preparing myself for this inadvertently.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the things, Zach, I talked about was like the opportunities and then being prepared for them. But also I feel like as this thing has come around, each step of the way, the opportunities being placed in front of me and like I'm being challenged. Like, are you going to take the next step, or are you going to just hold on to like the line that you've had so far? And I can't say that every single one, but the ones I know are the right ones to kind of keep pushing this forward. I've looked at them and like, okay, I'm being pushed to challenged. I'm being told like this is the path I'm supposed to be going on, kind of thing. And so feeling called to action, if that is clear enough, I guess.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. this is one of those shows that I've always wanted to do. I wanted to bring on a veteran business owner with a veteran nonprofit, and and it's weird me not being a veteran, but just being a patriot. I feel weird a little bit hosting it, but that's the reason why we got Publio and my father here. So they proudly served, and I just get to, like, I guess solicitate or whatever the show and do it. But Diamond, what are some of the biggest things that you wish people would do more of in business?
That's, oh man, so many things popped into my head. It's like, okay. It's taking me a moment. Okay,
You glitched out a little bit.
I know. And that was not purposeful. What do I wish they did? Now I'm like, I went so deep in the rabbit hole. I'm like, okay, hold on. What do I wish they did more often?
Yeah. Like what is something? What's one thing that you wish more businesses did? Yeah.
I wish that more businesses embraced empathy. Honestly, like the reason I noticed that his leadership photos were pictures of family, and like he said, they weren't like, selfies with like the whatever. But I wish that more of them would embrace empathy, because one of my favorite pieces, what was that word even? One of my favorite people to listen to, his name is Simon Sinek, and he told this story about how he helped this homeless person with their sign, because at first it read, the standards. It was trying to get all the votes, like, God bless you, I'm a homeless vet. Like, it was like all of the things that they know, I have kids, like all of the things that they know would generally encourage people to give. And so he changed the sign basically to say, if you only give once a month, please think of me next time. And this person, like, normally they make $20 in a day. They made $20 in like 2 hours. And it was because it wasn't about them. It, like, many of them get the objection of like, oh, I give to this, so-and-so or whatever. It's like, okay, if you only give once a month, my cause is worthy. I will still be here. Just think of me next time. And he equated it to like company landing pages and websites. And now it's like one of the things that I look at, because he says oftentimes businesses are like, me, like, this is what I do, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, why would someone, like, what's essentially, the saying always goes, what's in it for them? Like, how can they benefit from, your 25 years as a facilitator trainer and your 14 years of YouTube? Like, how is that going to help them? So I wish that they embrace empathy more.
Yeah. I got hit with the whiffum.
I saw a video very, very similar to what you were talking about on LinkedIn, where there was a gentleman sitting in a park and he was blind, and a little girl walked up to him and grabbed the marker and grabbed the sign and took and wrote something. And this guy wasn't getting any, people were just walking by, blowing by him. And all of a sudden, after this little girl wrote something, people started dropping change and throwing dollars down and stuff like that. And then at the end of the day, the little girl came back and, he felt it was her shoes. So he knew it was her. And he asked, he said, thank you. What did you write? And it flashes over to the sign and it said, it's a beautiful day and I can't see it, but thank you for enjoying it. And it was one of those things. And it was just very well put. It was very well put. It was kind of one of those things, I'm sitting there watching that video and looking at that and kind of, oh, damn allergies, oh, sheesh. And so it was, I thought it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I like that concept, and, it is one of those things. And Daniel, you and I, we've both been through that too. It's where, hey, look, even if we're not the ones that you give to, please consider giving to, think of the vets on this, Memorial Day, or think of, families who need help on this day, or something like that. You just always got to think of someone.
Yeah, and
That's why
there's plenty of studies
Go
that
ahead.
prove that like the positive personal effects that occur from giving to others and doing for others. A lot of people don't know it today, I think, not as inherently as was known in I wouldn't even say previous generations, but like it was a much more commonly understood thing that when you do work or do good things for other people without any expectation of like compensation back, that it helps your health, it makes you feel better, it does so many good things for you. So I try to bring that to it a lot of times, like you said, it doesn't have to be me, but just make sure you're going out and doing good works, right? Go out and help people. Maybe there's a mission that you more closely identify with, and that's fine. If mine you think is interesting, cool, help me out. But like, if not, find the one that does call to you. Go out there and find that, because you need that positive thing in your life, and it will help them accomplish that task, and you'll feel better for it. So
Yeah, well, look, if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. That's how I like to end my shows, because it's true. If you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. I mean, every single one of us at some point in time has needed help, and whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, whether it's, moving a couch. Like, I needed help moving things this weekend, because you can't do it all with one arm.
One-handed, yeah.
But yeah, one-handed, it's very difficult. But but I mean, just considering other people, and you're right, it makes you feel so much better. I've got a little trick that, I'm kind of a big guy, so when Diamond's talking about, the butt and the gut, and I'm like, oh boy, I've got plenty of those. So but I'll be going through, and I'll have like donuts and candy bar or something like that, and I'll always reach over and I'll grab my last thing, and it's a Diet Pepsi, and I'll turn around, and if somebody's having a bad day, I'll just crack a little bit of a joke. Hey, I got to watch my girlish figure. Let's make people smile. It does so much good. So not everybody is responsible for their own bad day. So, and I guess what I'm saying is, we've all been married. I'm not saying that at all. But yeah. Yeah. Well, I can just say that because, my wife just went to grab something, so she's not here. Of course, she's probably going to watch the show here in a minute, and I'm really going to get it. But, so, Dad, do you have anything to finish this out with?
No, I just enjoyed listening to all this sharing and, I guess, hopefulness, right? As you say, just, I guess, the idea of knowing that somebody cares is in all actuality a great feeling, right? And, so, I just really applaud, you guys. We kind of had our own little thing. They didn't last very long, but we did it for a while, and it certainly, made a whole lot of people happy, and for about 5 or 6 years, and you just can't hardly beat that. People kind of always say, oh, well, how do you know that this guy wasn't kidding you or wasn't lying to you or something? And anyway,
who cares?
Yeah,
they came to us, they needed help.
Yeah.
You got like Diamond said, I think, you got your stuff, right? So that's what you got to work on. That's with, not on, with is your stuff, because everybody's got your stuff, their stuff.
Yep. So, well, hey guys, I know Diamond, you got to pop off here real quick, and Daniel, I know that you haven't had any time to sit there and decompress at all. So I want to thank you.
I still have
Yeah.
several things from Marine Corps work I got to work on too. So yes,
Yeah,
I appreciate
yeah.
it.
Well, I just want to thank both of you guys very, very much for joining us and on our second episode of this show. And you know, this is really important to me. Like I said, getting you guys together, and now, you know, the one of the best ways to tell everybody about what you do is let everybody know what you do, and I'm hoping that's kind of what the message is here. You know, we want to make sure people know about Diamond, people know about you, Daniel, and your family's hard work. And is your daughter getting more skills with the carpentry?
Me? She's been drumming lately. Been drumming more than me.
Ah,
Her
Oh.
drum focus has picked up. We are building a planter box this weekend for growing plants. So it's very simple, but yeah, the orientation to the tools and basics. But she's been really focused a lot on her drumming lately. It's been good.
well, I just remember that was one of my favorite pictures. It was her in one of the ambulances working with you, and I just remember that was one of my favorite pictures. So, but
oh yeah,
I want to thank you guys again, and good luck to both of you guys. And please contact us when you have anything that you need to share. Okay.
Of course.
Thanks, Zach.
Talk to you
All
later.
right. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Daniel, Diamond, Dad, and Publio, I want to thank you guys all. I really do. Whoa, there's a dog. Yeah, there's one of the dogs. So, you know, we were talking about dogs. Apparently, he wanted to make mention that he was here. So, please, please, please do yourself a favor and check out both of the websites. We'll go with Diamonds first here, diamonddripconsulting.com. If you want a new way to look at business, go and check out her website. It is really cool. All of her concepts show up at one of her meetings, one of her networkings at the yoga, you know, the accountability yoga. It's really, really cool. So diamonddripconsulting.com. And then, of course, rescueresidents.org. I can't say enough about how cool it is to see this going from where it was and the heartbreak in which he really did well with it. I mean, I think he did better with it than I did when his tools got stolen. I remember how pissed off I was that night after I found out, but seeing where they've come, how far they've come, again, just congratulations, brother. That's so fantastic. So, hey guys, this is the fourth Wednesday of the month, and this is our salute to our heroes, both country and community, co-hosted by Publio from Zafeiri, and that's his contact information. Again, he is a business coach that doesn't give you the yes person. They're not a yes guy organization. They are going to tell you what they see is wrong, and if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for the accountability that Diamond was talking about, they're a perfect place to call. And of course, you can always find us on our website with All Coming Together on the All Coming Together podcast channel. And we've got all kinds of things on there. We've got Footprints Forward talking about suicide and mental health. Speaking of, February is rolling around. And as you guys know, February 22nd is a big day for me. It's a big day because I host a 22-hour podcast because we do have a suicide problem with our veterans. We sit here for 22 hours and we allow them to tell stories. We allow people like Daniel to come on and join us and talk about what their part is in the solution. You know, it's one part. Okay. This is a big enough this is a big enough problem that we need a lot of people with a lot of solutions. So, you know, again, I think that what Daniel's doing is fantastic, because he's got, you know, the skills, he's got the pride, and I think that's one of the huge things that he's adding to that, is the pride of doing this yourself, you know, for yourself, but having a home, having the skills, learning something, building up that self-confidence. Well, if you have a program, if you have a story that you want to tell and you're willing to share it with everybody, I'm going to be on this station for 22 straight hours, okay? From 2 a.m. Mountain Time until midnight. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. So, but it's so much easier when you come on and you talk and you tell your story and you tell people about what you've went through. I'm going to tell you this. We went through some stories that were just absolutely heartbreaking. We've also went through stories that were just hilarious. Hope and loss. We went through it all. Those 22 hours mean a lot to me, because it's a way that I can give back to those who have served us. So please, if you would like to get involved, use the little QR code up here in the corner. I have to do it this way. Sorry, can't use the other arm. I'll get in trouble if I do. Well, that, and I'll probably end up screaming a really high-pitched, shrill voice. So I don't think you need that. But use the little QR code in the corner. Reach out to me and say, hey, I would like to share our story. I would like to share our program, and let us share it with other people. Look, please stay tuned on this channel, because right now we've got the latest episode of Footprints Forward coming up. It's a great show that we did with our program, or with our family, talking about the problems of mental health and suicide in general. My name is Zach Clayton. I am the president and founder of Community Pay Up Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PAC channels. I want to thank you very much for joining us. Please make sure that you love somebody out there, because somebody out here loves you. And as I've been saying all show, if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. No one needs to go it alone when we all come together. Thank you very much. And we will see you next week right here on Pact Podcasting for All Coming Together.
Stepping out of her fear, bring me home. Out alone, show me the way. You wanna be a part of Sunset Boulevard.